All right, everyone. We are back and we are here with the first family of TG, the Rosarios. We have co-founder and CEO, inventor of the Vero shoe, one of the most sought after and highly respected cheer clinicians in the world. Also coach of TGLC and Double O. This is Victor.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
And next up, we have co-founder and CFO, trained ballerina by trade and cheerleader by chance, one of the most business savvy and empathic people in the industry. She also coaches TGLC. We have Kristen.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining our family tonight.
And their firstborn, who has way too many cheer and dance teams throughout her cheer career and dance career to announce, but most notably is an LJ and TGLC alumni and athlete, currently headed to the University of Louisville, where she will continue her cheer career on U of L All-Girl. This is Demi.
Hi, guys. Thanks for coming. In 7 days, to be exact.
Yeah. Oh, not yet. Save it for the questions. And last but most certainly not least, also with too many cheer and dance teams throughout her cheer career to announce, but most currently she's a member of TGLC. She's a senior in high school and coaches our tinies here at the gym. This is Jody.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. My voice sounds so bad, oh my god. It's so raspy, I'm sorry.
That's because she was coaching the tinies by herself.
And guys, we apologize for signing on late. We had a few technical difficulties, but now we've gotten that fixed, and I can see that you guys are chiming in. You guys are liking it. You're sending us hearts and love. I am the man behind the phone today. I am Coach Cory here at the gym. I work with our social media, and we are going to jump right into it.
Cory is the man behind
He's
social
the man,
media.
the legend.
Definitely that. Amazing.
I'm here for it. Thank you, guys. Victor and Kristen, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is a lot of people know that you guys are the founders of Top Gun, and they love you for that and the creative ingenues behind TGLC, but a lot of people don't know how many boards you sit on and the things that you've done behind the scenes to shape All-Star Cheerleading today. Can you guys talk a little bit about that?
First? Sure, absolutely. Kristen and myself, we're two of the 5 members who helped found the National All-Star Cheerleading Coaches Congress, better known as the NACCC, back in 2002, and we basically conducted that as a coaches union to be able to get any concerns, ideas that coaches had addressed and forwarded off to the event producers and any other powers that be to try to push those initiatives. After that, it merged into the USASF and became the USASF's coaches union, which has now switched names and has since become the NASC, or National All-Stars Connection. In addition to that, we have also recently founded and served with the All-Stars United group, again trying to bring those coaches together. It's been a while since we've really dove into major issues and trying to tackle those things and get the event producers to get on board and help us make those things happen within the industry. So that's what we've been doing these past couple years. In addition to that, I've also served on the USASF Rules Committee for over 10 years now, helping to shape the industry when it comes to the technical aspects of the skills, along with the age grid, uniform issues, anything that basically goes into our sport that the Rules Committee governs.
Okay.
And actually, for those people that don't know, the first thing that the NACCC did, and I have to take my hat off to my husband for this, was get all of the companies to agree to one set of rules. Years and years ago, we used to have all these different sets of rules, and Victor sat overnight with a few other wonderful people and friends in our industry and put together the very first set of rules that we adopted, and that the companies adopted, became the first universal set of rules, and it's kind of what morphed into what is today.
So we basically went from about 38 or 40 different companies having slightly different variations of the rules to 2. There was about 30 on one side and then a few on others that were part of the same brand, basically.
Okay.
Oh goodness, you guys are in like 900 groups.
I know, we can't keep track.
Your groupie must be busy, honey.
Basically, yes, it is. Basically, I also do the, like you said, all the board, well, as I say, we started with the NACCC together. We also do the Cheer Alliance together, but I also sit on the USASF board as an advisor, and I've done it for a few years now.
She's being very modest about it. She was on the board as a voting member for 2 years. That was the term limit. And then after that was asked to stay on as an advisor and has been on that at least 3 years now, if not longer.
I think so, I can't remember.
And the reason that all of those big wigs wanted to keep her honest because they saw the value in her being a Libra, just being, as Cory mentioned earlier, very empathetic. She just has a way with words, a way with people, helping them to see both sides of things, helping to bridge those gaps. So she's been very instrumental, even though she's not an actual voting member, in getting a lot of the things that have passed over these past 5 years pushed along.
That's very sweet of you, but he gives me too much credit.
We adore that. So before I go and ask Demi and Jody a question, for all of you out there who are concerned and who are writing in about the masks, I want you to remember that you are on the Rosario family Q&A, meaning that everybody lives together.
Yes, we're under the same household, and actually Jody had asked me earlier, do I need to wear my mask, because she knew we were coming here, and I said no, because we're the only ones in the gym today, and it's basically our household. We drove in the same car here.
There you go. There you go, guys. But we do appreciate your concern for safety. So next, ladies, I spoke about earlier how many cheer and dance teams you guys have been on, and I have personally watched you guys from when you were both in diapers up until now, making up routines and having fun, and basically going from levels 1 through 6. Can you tell us what's been some of your favorite moments throughout your entire cheer or dance journey?
I would definitely say winning Worlds with LJ in 2014. That team was just so amazing because we just came off of 2013 not even making it to day 2 by like 1 place. I got 11th instead of making top 10. And going into the next season, we were kind of the underdogs the whole year. We were getting pretty consistent, but we still weren't the best out there. And on day 2, when we hit that final routine, we honestly didn't even care what happened at that point because we just knew that was the best we could be that day. And it ended up being enough, and that was just one of the best feelings ever because we really just never thought, it was a Cinderella story for real. And then other than that, I would say winning this last year majors with just my whole family is definitely up there too because that was our first very, very big win as a family, so it just meant that much more.
Yeah, for me, it's really hard to choose because I feel like we have so many ups and downs, being that some of us have won, like us 3 won together, NCAA in 2017, which was amazing, but they didn't, and we always felt like we all were wanting to celebrate together, but since we were on different teams, it was kind of hard. We didn't want to be super excited because we also wanted to comfort Demi, and vice versa. When they would win and we didn't, we wanted to kind of be there for each other. So now that we're all on the same team, it makes it a lot easier. We either win together or lose together, so either happy tears or sad tears, but either way, it's a family thing and we really enjoy it. So it's really hard for me to choose just one, but I would definitely say majors was the biggest win for us as a family. We've never won that competition ever, nobody in our program. So then winning together as a family just made that much better, and I just forever moment that I'll never forget.
Oh, by the way, I just got the word from Santuan that our rings are.
No way!
My goodness, I've been waiting.
Win or lose, it was nice to be on the same emotional roller coaster this year.
It's really tough. I obviously I love the fact that we're all together, but 2018, for instance, it was literally like going through both of my children's first love breakup at the same time. I mean, we just laid in our hotel bed at Worlds after finals for 2 days straight. Just
We
exhausted from being the emotions and the crying.
She was the only one that left from Worlds to Summit. We literally all stayed there just
I just had to go
sad
home.
through Summit.
I had to go home.
Oh man, like
I
a
didn't
bathrobe
know
and
whether
ice
to
cream.
lick my own wounds or comfort somebody
them.
else.
But there's always Ben and Jerry's and bathrobes.
Right.
Always.
You got it.
Guys, several of you are asking if we're going to be saving this live. Of course, that is always our intention, but technology today, sometimes she can be shady. If you have never conducted a full 1 hour live, sometimes it will get to 59 and say, you know what, I'm sleepy. So if you can stay tuned in, I would highly suggest you staying tuned in. But if we can save this for you, we most certainly will. Okay? So our first question is from Emily on Instagram, and it's directed towards Victor and Kristen. And she wants to know, what made you decide you wanted to open a cheer gym?
Well, I guess that's kind of my story because she was doing dance at the time. I just fell in love with the sport when I moved from New York to Miami, and I found out what a cheerleader was, and I started to cheer at my high school, my junior year of high school. I just immediately fell in love with all the aspects of it, the team camaraderie, the fact that it had tumbling, and I was already into tumbling. Then I met people that went to gymnastics, so I went to that, and then I just followed suit into college and got to work NCAA high school summer camp staff, and had this idea of, you know what, I would love to put together a team that competes, and there's just the best kids from everywhere. So as I taught these camps, and we would always have a competition called All-American, you would see these, superstar athletes come out and do their audition, and afterwards I would say, hey, I'm gonna start a team. You wanna be on my team real quick? You wanna try out? Come here, come there. And before you knew it, I had assembled a group of about 20 kids, and then I said, hey, Chris, I can't do this alone. You know me and my organizational skills. Someone's gotta collect the money and keep things organized. I can teach all the skills and everything. You wanna help me do this for the peanuts that we were gonna do it for? We were basically gonna do it for free, but if we could make $10 off of it to help pay for gas or something, that would have been great. It really was not meant to be more than that.
Little did she
But
know
it
she was
just
getting
continued to
something
evolve.
If I could have gone back and talked to my 17-year-old body,
You'd be like, no, don't do it.
Stop what you're doing.
And it just continued to evolve from there. And the further we got along and the more kids that we started to help and be able to help mold and shape, the more we fell in love with it. And it's just like everything else. Love comes from how much you invest in it. And we invested so much of ourselves in it that love just continued to grow. And here we are today, almost 27 years later.
You never really work a day in your life if you love what you do.
That.
I think it's so crazy that they started at 17. I'm 17 now. Like, how can I do that?
I'm 19. I barely know what I want.
So what are you guys doing to make your mark on the world? Let's go.
I'm
I'm gonna go to school first.
Yeah, going
That's
to
a good
college.
start.
Business major, so maybe I'll learn how to run this. Probably
You're
even
gonna
like
run it better than I do.
Oh, probably
Yeah, the
need
whole
a
business
quarter as
major
good,
thing isn't gonna work for me.
We'll see.
So I'm gonna do like something with like physical therapy with like sports medicine maybe, because I heard that business is really, really hard and I'm really bad with numbers. So maybe Demi will help with like half business and I'll help with like, healing the athletes.
So you're saying Top Gun Australia, Top Gun Tokyo.
I want a Top
You're gonna
Gun
run
Hawaii.
it. You're
Top
gonna have
Gun
a
Hawaii.
physical therapy clinic inside of it.
I want Top
You
Gun
got
New
it.
York.
Top Gun Hawaii.
With
You were
the
gonna
snow.
put your mother in the ground.
So as you can see their
That's me.
personalities. This one's all about the sun and the fun, wants to be in Hawaii. This one is infatuated with Christmas. It's always been her favorite holiday.
She wants a
She
white
could
Christmas.
have snow all year long and wants to go back to New York, where I tried to get away from, and move everything down here, and she wants to
No,
go
we're
back.
going back.
For those of you that don't know, I also work in the office, and I just can't wait to the emails that Kristen gets on Monday about locations everywhere.
Anybody wants Top Gun Hawaii? Say hi.
We'll work on the New York first. And then we'll get
No,
there.
New York, Hawaii. Imagine us getting to like family travel to Hawaii and we're like, oh yeah, it's for
Hey,
business,
listen,
but we're all
I'm
there
all
for
for
Hawaii.
it. Which ones are you guys taking over right now so that I don't have to do the work?
I'm gonna take over FOVS first,
Okay.
and then once we're done
See,
with
we love
school,
that. We love that.
we'll start.
This one's also directed to Victor and Kristen. Looking back on when, where, and how Top Gun started, do you think it would be the same if you started in this day and age?
Absolutely not. Definitely not. Back then, we were very blessed that we got to learn as we grew. We made tons of mistakes. We kind of wrote the story as we lived the story. And I feel like now, because there are so many fantastic gyms out there, it's probably much harder to start now, but I would also say you have a lot more learning and training tools in front of you. You have the book is written for you, so in that wise it's easier. If you know the right people to reach out to, you can get the right advice and the right help. Where we didn't, it was kind of like hit the wall. Okay, that's not the right way to go. Let's turn this way and try again. But I definitely do believe it's much harder. We started, truly in a park with nothing, and I don't know that it would be as easy this year or at this day and age to do that.
Absolutely. There's just a lot more high quality information and knowledge out there from people that have been around as long as us to be able to speak to and to find out the answers, where, like you said, we were
Trial
doing
and error.
it trial and error, and every now and then we might find someone that might have had experience maybe in running a gymnastics gym or a dance studio to try to get some feedback on, but for the most part it was just, what do you think? Wow, what do you think? And let's try this. Oh, that didn't work.
Try it again. Fail. Try it again. Fail. Hey, it worked.
And that's why they say failure is on the road to success. So if you can get past that and just stay committed and stay consistent, eventually you get to where you want to go.
We have definitely failed way more times than we have succeeded.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm going to open up to a family question now. And this question came from Giselle on Instagram. and she wants to know, as a family, as cheerleaders, as coaches, what was the worst thing to you about the 1920 season ending so abruptly?
I would say, obviously when you have a team that works so hard, both inside and outside of the routine, both inside and outside of practice, and obviously, it's not the best feeling to not get to, finish with, the competition that we all look forward to the most. But even before that, I would just say I didn't like that our last practice, we just didn't know it was our last practice. If we would have gone into it knowing that this was going to be the last time that we would see pretty much the entire team for quite a few months, and I just wish that we could have done things differently, maybe watch an end of the year video, just overall prepared more. We all thought that we were going to be coming back just for a regular Tuesday practice, and we didn't get that. So it's just not ending the way that I would have liked to.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like overall this season, it's never based off of Worlds for us. It's just if you had an amazing season, whether it was win or lose, but you enjoyed being with your team every second, then it's a great season for us. So for us, it wasn't the fact that Worlds was canceled that was the problem. It was more that it was ending our season early with our best friends. We weren't going to see our best friends anymore for God knows how long. We didn't know when quarantine was going to be over. We didn't know when life was going to be normal, and still isn't normal. And it sucked that we weren't able to have our goodbyes without knowing they were really goodbyes. We're hug you, we'll see you once quarantine is over. We didn't know that it was going to officially be over for our team. So it kind of broke our hearts in that wise, but not really for Worlds.
Yeah,
so
I think what our family is trying to say is that it's never been about the end result. It's always been about the journey, not the destination.
Sure.
But as humans, we love closure. As cheerleaders, we finish things. That's what cheerleaders do, and that's what we've trained them to do. So I think it was that not having that closure and not even knowing that, okay, this is going to happen, let's say goodbye now.
Yeah.
And I think that was more so, because I don't think any one of us regret last year. We loved every part about it.
Yeah.
We just hated that we couldn't finish it off.
No, definitely. Even the hardest and most just tough practices, every single person on that team just always wanted to be there.
I would do that practice where we did 5 full outs all over again if it just meant for our team
just
to
have
be
one
back
more
together.
for sure.
I mean, the great thing, because there are lessons and there's good things that come out of bad things. It definitely taught all of us to not take things for granted, to treat every practice as if it was your last practice or your last performance. And thankfully, especially with the USSF allowing the extension of the eligibility for the kids that would have aged out, we have almost every single kid back from that team. So someone's like, okay, hey, now we know what life could really look like without this. I'm gonna not take it for granted. I'm gonna really live in the moment, and I'm gonna take advantage of every opportunity that I have. So it's helped us to get on a even much better, faster track of where we want to be a lot earlier in this season.
And on top of that, our team, or at least the veterans now, know what it takes to get to where we were later last year in the season. Now we can start earlier, and just those newer kids, we're going to be like, hey, this is what we need to do. I know it sucks right now that we're going 5 times over and over again. It's hard, it's tired, we're wearing masks, it's sweaty. But at the end, you're going to regret if you don't do this. So let's just do it now and make it so much more worth it in the end.
For sure.
Guys, if this was going to be turned into a movie, that last 2 minutes was great. I'm personally still sweating from Jody saying 5 times full out and with practice.
It was only once, but let me tell you, that was rough. But I'll do it again.
And something interesting that I thought Kristen mentioned, it being about the journey rather than the destination. And I think that is something that is always really surprising to people who aren't from within Top Gun, because we have a reputation for creativity and innovation, etc., that I think some people think that Top Gun is all about the win. And could you guys just maybe touch on that for a second?
Yeah, when me personally, and I can speak for everyone, we don't really focus on the end result, how we don't go into the season just thinking about worlds, wanting to win that, because if you're not focused on just enjoying every little second of it, and then Worlds happens, and a lot of times, more times than not, we don't win, then you're going to look back at the season just thinking that it was a bust because the only thing that you were looking forward to didn't happen, versus just going into the season wanting to bond with your team, making every single second so memorable. When I finish the season, I can look back and just remember all those fun practices, joking around with my teammates, all the great team bondings, not even the wins. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think that's why we focus so much on the choreography, and why it's so great that Victor is so good at what he does, because that's part of, I think, the journey is all of the falls, trying all these new and creative ideas. Believe it or not, they don't award us for that on the score sheet. It's not like we get some extra points. It actually makes it harder because not only are you going to have
working on that.
not only are you guys going to have to do a hand in hand, but you're gonna have to land on one leg and you have to do it while shooting a gun at the same time. Or, like, all those things. It actually makes it harder. And like I said, there's no extra points for it, but we do it because those are the moments that later on they talk about. Like, you remember that one time that Coach Victor made us try this? Like, do you remember when we were doing the decapitation train and we literally decapitated each other? Like, that's part of the journey and part of the fun.
No,
so.
right. I definitely don't remember the wins as much as us dying at practice, dropping people all from everywhere.
You have an epic fail video
I-
on Instagram.
But
I
at
just,
least we
I
fail
do.
safely. Like,
Yeah,
walk away
yeah,
from
yeah.
it.
Definitely good at laughing.
And,
Most of the time.
the way that I try to explain it to the team as a coach is you don't want to ever put your success or your happiness in the hands of other people, in the hands of the 6 judges who don't see the day in and day out struggle, don't see how you didn't know how to do this at all, and you're literally writing the book on how to create these skills, and then they go, it's all right, 4.7. Like, that's not what it can be based on. So you have to learn to find that happiness from within and within each other and the experience. And usually when you do that, the funny thing is, the other stuff ends up happening. The wins happen, the rewards happen, and all the praise comes with it. But if it doesn't, you still have all those other things to fall back on and to be able to appreciate and enjoy. So don't make it about any one event or one championship or one title. Make it about, hey, how can we control our own happiness, success, and our destiny? And we can do that right here in the attitude and the effort that we put into every single thing that we do.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like when I go and look back on last season, for instance, yes, we had majors, awesome win, battle, so many other competitions, but I'll really forever remember our fails, our decapitation train, Jules hitting me in the face, getting a black eye. Like, I remember us getting in trouble for doing TikToks at practice and having to go and do burpees because Jay Bear was messing with Demi, and we were doing the newest TikTok and getting in trouble for it. And those are just moments of, like, yeah, in the moment we were like, can we just sit still and stop doing TikToks? But we look back and we're like, wow, like, that's why I love cheerleading, because I'm sitting here doing TikToks with my best friends, not worried about whether or not I'm gonna win or lose worlds,
all right, guys, so if you didn't know this, once cheerleading is over, the Rosarios will also be opening a self-help and life coaching center. Because but in all honesty, that is beautiful. And I feel like for those of you that may be wondering, that is not just something that they instill in TGLC. That is something that is sort of like a gym motto and a gym value as well. It is something that they have instilled in all the coaches under their wing, who then in turn teach it to their athletes as well. So if you've ever wondered, when you see Top Gun on stage and maybe we didn't get that placement that we were hoping for, that we thought we might get, all is not lost, because OAF, AAF really does mean something, and it's about so much more than just that end result. So thank you again for that, you guys. I'm all lost in the script and stuff. Okay. In regards to, how we do at competition, and this is for the family, how would you say, as coaches and as athletes, and I would say team leaders, how do you reduce the pressure on your athletes and teammates at competitions like NCAA and Worlds?
I think I'll say that in one easy sentence. We prepare for it.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
You
read my mind.
Yeah, we don't walk into any competitions any differently than what we can do here, what we can hit here, the way we warm up here. It's going to be all exactly the same. So it's no surprise. It almost becomes work, but fun.
It's
work.
routine.
It is routine. Thank you for the word. So it is routine. They literally do routine from beginning to end of competition the same they would at practice.
Yeah, and I know that it just, in preparing as well as we do, it's just so nice to be able to be backstage and messing around with everyone. We're not thinking like, oh my goodness, I really hope that I hit this stun or I land that pass. I'm just like, I'm ready to go out there, just vibe with the music, just be excited because all these people came to watch us. If you got to come to our warm-ups with TGLC, we're smacking on the floor. It's honestly, we call our competitions glorified practices. It's literally just another full out, but we get to look pretty.
And just like at practice, sometimes things happen. It's not always perfect, but we don't fall apart, you just keep going because it's just part of life.
Yep.
And I
Life
feel like
happens.
as coaches, like they are really, really good at making sure that no matter what, we're going into that routine confident. Whether it's we had to water down the skill for the day, that's fine. Like we have so many other things to make up for it, and they really stress the fact that no matter what you do, you need to know that you're gonna hit it. If you're not confident with it, you're not gonna do it. Because you have to be 100% going into this, because how are you going to practice something and then not compete it the same way? You have to do them both the same. So if it's not going to work, then take it out, make it easy, do what you know is going to hit. And they really, really, really focus on just preparing us. So when we go into warm-ups, it's so easy like for us to just be like happy and having fun and rapping and dancing and doing this like spin thing on our butt that Kai taught us. Like it's so random, but it's so much fun, and it makes us so hyped rather than so stressed out for competing.
Yeah, and they really do a great job at just preparing us, because I know that sometimes we're human, we don't have perfect warm-ups all the time, but while I'm backstage, I'm not thinking about how I wish that warm-up would have been better. I'm just thinking about, man, I've hit this more than I've fallen, so statistically I'm going to do it right outside. And they just do a good job.
I think it also helps a little bit to give them a little credit. We have really good leaders on the team like them, that when somebody does get a little bit nervous, they're really good at pulling that person aside and saying, hey, listen, we're all in this together. Whatever happens, happens. We're here to build each other up. And I think it's because other kids follow their footsteps, it also makes it easier for the newer kids.
Yeah, to piggyback on that, I feel like as teammates and team leaders and just being in it for so long, we've learned that no matter what happens, we're a family, and it could be not your day one day and it can be not my day one day, but either way we're a team. And if we lose together, and if we fall together. We're not going to come off the floor and be like, well, you're the reason why we're losing and you fell and whatever. So no matter what, we always come off the floor like, you know what, I'm going to go hug the person that fell because I know they really need it right now, rather than coming down on somebody, because it could be any Wednesday at any time. And so I just feel
Definitely,
like we really stress
no
that.
one goes into it going, I'm going to be the train wreck today.
Yeah, I do something that helps me just reduce the pressure. It may sound crazy, but like I tell myself that it's okay to fall, because at the end of the day I know that I am human, so I do make mistakes. So if I go into it like I need to hit this, like if I don't, I'm the reason.
Stress.
Yeah, it's just
And she used to.
I used to have to take like my mom used to have to bring like little stomach pills because I'd be backstage like throwing up because I would just have such bad performance anxiety because I would just put so much pressure on
You used to
myself.
always come up to me and you're like, I don't understand how you get, like, it's so chill. You're like, you're not nervous at all. And I would literally just be like,
And it's so funny because now I'm just back there. I'm just like, just going with the flow. Because it's now just cheerleading is just fun for me, and I think obviously it just comes with many years of doing it and maturity. But I tell myself that if I go outside and I do fall, like if my biggest worry in life is that I drop my stunt, like there are people who can't walk or would kill to be in my shoes and can't. So I'm living a good life. That's my only issue.
Such an
The
important thing to
stomach
remember.
pills reminds me of the movie The Birdcage. What are you giving him?
Purine.
The Purine tablets. It's just aspirin with the A and the S scratched off.
That's what it was. We were giving you a little pussy.
Come on.
I swore they worked though.
I used to get so sick backstage, like over the trash can. Like,
Yeah, I would definitely make my team more
He's
nervous.
like, what are you giving her? I'm like, placebo pills for sugar.
I would definitely stress my team out so much because I would they would all be gathered, they'd be perfectly fine. I would make sure to go throw up like right in between everybody. Just
I remember poor Demi, she was like, what, 12, her first year of Lady Drags, and Greg had her do absolutely like nothing in the sun so she would not get stressed. She would do a lip, they would all TikTok and she would just stay in place. And then they would do a full round and she'd stay in place. They would all pull a scorpion, she would stay in place. I was like
I still managed to mess it up though.
And that's why we're all back in left, right corner.
But you're there.
Yeah, we are.
You are essential.
With our Doritos, but we are there.
So you, Jody, you mentioned something earlier about how you pick each other up, or maybe it was you. I'm not sure who said it, but how you pick each other up. As a family, when one of you is down, are there certain things that you guys do that you know will help that particular family member out?
I mean, for each one of us, we have very different personalities, so it varies with all of us, but I feel like most of our stress comes from just like being at the gym with each other all the time. So it's cheerleading after cheerleading after cheerleading. So we started when I was on the team, me and my mom started doing when we are in the car, we can let out all of our problems. You can say, I hate my coach, even though she is my coach. But the minute we get home, we're a family, and all cheerleading gets left at the door. So we really try to like focus on if somebody's down about cheerleading, we let it out, and we just have a family game night or a family movie night. And my dad will show us like old movies that he used to watch when he was kids, and we just kind of like enjoy each other's company rather than stressing about the thing that's making us upset or making us sad. And it really helps just like gain that family aspect back together with us.
Separation of cheer and home.
Yes.
Definitely that.
We definitely, that's
Yes.
definite. We also, we've learned as we've gone, they have obviously very different personalities, and I still make mistakes sometimes because, you know, they're still my kids, but I know that I can talk to one a certain way to get a result, and I cannot talk the other one that way. And vice versa. Like, if I talk to her a certain way, that wouldn't work for her. So it's
You're
like
just so
learning.
sensitive. Yeah.
She didn't name any names.
I know, but
She
I know
didn't say
she's talking about me
anybody's
'cause I'm
name.
sensitive.
I think all in all, it just comes with age and experience, because I remember the days when we could not separate cheer and home, and we would get into it at home about what happened at practice, and then I just realized how it was just constant negativity and constant pressure, and it started to take a toll on our relationship just as a father and daughter. So I had to just learn to say, you know what, as much as I want to deal with this right now, I need to just let it go. Let's focus on doing something more positive. Let's have a good time together, because usually after that, those problems either just kind of dwindle away, or you're just in a much better place emotionally that, hey, let's talk about this on a more sensible level. And you can deal with each other and get through it a lot easier.
Yeah, I also feel like another thing that we do is take our 24 hours, and for those that don't know, my mom, since I can remember, she's always said that you never want to make a decision when your feelings and emotions are kind of all over the place. You never want to make a good decision when you're super happy or when you're super sad, because if you wait those 24 hours and you made that decision and you're like, oh my goodness, why did I do that? It's gonna suck. So we always try to, if we're upset with each other, take your 24 hours before saying anything that you might regret. And then if you still feel that way, then come and talk to each other when we're on a more sensible level and can understand each other.
Does listen.
Yeah.
I don't use it all the time, but I
It took
listen.
17 years. But
No, yeah, but at the end of the day, definitely the key there is just being able to differentiate, you know, coach and parent, because at the end of the day, our relationship as a family is more important. So.
I love that,
was
you
good.
guys. That was very good. You all did great on that one.
Toodles. Oh, turkey.
So, Demi and Jody, would you say that you were apprehensive at first when you guys first made TGLC? Like, were you
Well, you go
nervous?
first, because you were on it 2 years before I was.
Okay,
Well,
so
actually, I should go first and preface this story, because Jody almost did not make TGLC. And if it were not for, I think, you, Cory, and some of the other coaches,
you the
And-
realist.
probably still would
And
not
I
be on TGLC.
quote, his words were, "You are reverse cycle parents." And I was like, what do you mean reverse cycle parents? Any other child that had that skill would have made your team, but you're not going to let your child do it because she's yours? Reverse cycle parent. And I had to go back and rethink my decision.
Yeah, I remember when I was little and like still in junior 3, I was like, oh my god, like I'm obsessed with TGLC. I just can't wait to be on the team. And they're like, don't get excited, we're never coaching you. And I was like, no, but like I really love TGLC. No, we will never coach you. And then I turned 12 and I had the skills, and I remember like they used to all have like the coaches sit down with the papers and everything, and I would try to like sneak in and hear what team I was on. They would get out. And I remember when I found out I was on TGLC, I was like super nervous and yet super excited, because I was like, yes, somebody convinced them, because they were literally not gonna let me on the team. I was like, that's really
And for me, up until the 17-18 season, I'd pretty much been coached by literally everyone in the gym besides them. So and I liked it because we're together pretty much, 21 hours of the day, but those 3 hours on Tuesday and Thursday that I was on Lady Jags or any other team, it was nice to have that separation. But then going into 2018, every person that's ever been coached by them has always just said such great things, and getting to experience it firsthand for myself, definitely better than anything I could ever imagined.
Thanks, Deb.
Aww.
Aww. Okay.
Can you tell us how old you guys were when you started cheerleading? And this is an entire family question.
2.
I was in the womb. You were 0 months.
I was 3.
They were already listening to cheer music when she was about
That's-
this much bigger.
That for sure. But in all honesty, actually taking the floor, she was.
For my first, I was 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You were 2.
I did my round off in front of the pyramid and got a standing ovation on BB's. Period.
Yep.
That's what's up.
For those of you, I think we actually have a video of the competition where you walked out with the team but did not understand that you were mascot at the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And
I was so upset.
you raised heck
She-
as they
she
had to
walked-
take you off.
She walked on, then she walked off with me, and the entire routine, I don't even remember it because Demi was performing because she was on the team. Jody was on my side going, why is my team on this?
Oh.
I want to go with my
Okay,
team.
but they
The
did
whole
me kind of
performance.
dirty.
So all I did was watch her the entire
I was trying to
time.
steal my limelight.
Okay, but how are you gonna be like, oh, like you get the outfit and you're on the team and you're on the team, and then when I go out to like go with my team, and they take me off the floor, I'm like, I practice with these people. How are you gonna do
Okay,
that
so
to
for
me?
those of
They're
you who
like
may
potty trained.
be
You
who may
would
be
be
a
on the
little
floor.
confused right now, if memory serves me correctly, at that time, Jody was too young, legality-wise, rule-wise, to actually cheer. But during practice, the coaches would let her do certain sections of the routine that wouldn't hinder the other athletes'
Right,
performance.
like put me in the back of the center, but like they could take me out, but also put me back in.
Just the cutest little nugget behind certain things, bobbing her head and doing round-offs where no one else was tumbling. So, in every right, she thought she was in the routine until performance day.
Yeah, but
And then Coach Janessa and Coach Mira, when I was finally age eligible, they came up to my mom and said, so either you can put Jody on the team or we're gonna quit. So
Obviously, story. They said they didn't want to watch her cry at any more competitions, and it was COA. That was our last competition of the year. She had just turned 2, and they're like, either you put her in, let her stay on the floor, or we are quitting. And I was like, y'all, what if she messes up the routine? Like, it's my kid. Like, that would be horrible. It's their last competition. And they said they would quit, so we allowed her to round off in the front of the pyramid.
And
love
Coach
that.
Janessa says till this day that she did not watch the entire pyramid. She watched my round off, and everybody went like this, yeah, just my round off. And I was like, I know that was good.
Didn't you run?
Yeah, I
all
ran
across-
to the wrong side, realized it, ran back to the right side, did my round off,
Then
and then
round
walked in
off.
the chicken nugget in the back. And I
Like-
sat there so excited. I was
the
like,
first bounce back pass ever.
Come
my
on.
I need a shirt that says that.
How old were
The
you?
original bounce back.
I was 3. I was on that team. It was our mini one BBs.
Oh my gosh. I was an original.
OBB.
Yeah.
Original box.
Original
And-
bounce back.
And Victor and Kristen?
When I started cheering,
Mhm.
I started cheering because I met Victor. I was a dancer in high school, and in 10th grade I met him, and he taught me how to stunt, and I fell in love with cheerleading immediately. But 11th grade,
She used to do QPs in her front yard with her feet turned out.
Yep.
She was dancing on like just holding heels.
First position in the air. She's like,
Yep. But I fell in love with it immediately, and so my following year, my junior year of high school, so I would assume I was 16? Yeah, 16 was when I started cheering. And
Okay.
For me, it was 1990. So I was 15, turning 16. Junior in high school
dang,
as
you
well.
old. I'm just kidding.
I am, well,
You look great.
thank you.
We love the salt and pepper.
I
salt and
agree.
Yes, I like the salt.
Very distinguished.
So, from where you started cheerleading and then when you started Top Gun, did you ever expect that Top Gun would become as big and successful as it is now?
Absolutely not. I think I mentioned that earlier. It literally was supposed to be something that we just enjoyed doing, maybe make a little bit of money off of it as we were going to college, but I did not foresee this being a business or, I originally was going to be a teacher. I went to college and
What?
Wait, I didn't even know that.
I went to college and I
But
decided,
me and
oh,
Debbie
I'm
looked at each other like,
gonna
wait a
be I'm
minute.
gonna be a teacher, so I took my first intro to education class and found out, what teachers have to go through and what kind of money they'd be looking to make, starting salary, and I was like, this is not for me. This is not what I want to do. I do want to teach. I love the teaching aspect, and coaching is teaching. So maybe I can do something with
Wow,
that.
that's literally so smart.
I would have talked to my younger self and told them what we do now, and I think my younger self would have probably laughed at me. I would have never imagined that this would be where we are. So yeah, never imagined.
I did not know you wanted to be a teacher.
No, that's news to me.
And you wanted to be a dance teacher, right?
I did, but prior to that, I wanted to be a dolphin trainer. Random.
You do kind of.
I swear, when I was like really young, I wanted to train dolphins, and
Well,
then
she's
once I
always
started,
loved
Really
dolphins and
golfing.
penguins.
Once
Did you
I-
try to throw in the air?
Once I started ballet, then I wanted to be a dance teacher.
You wanted to own your own damn studio.
Yes, that's what I really wanted to do. I'm just saying, like prior to that, like
That's
my
so
little kid
funny.
dream.
So she
Dolphin
got her bachelor's degree, her major in dance education,
Uh-huh.
and her minor in accounting, and should have done it the other way around.
I really should have. I really should have. because I didn't learn anything.
But it's okay,
in my,
you make it work.
I didn't learn anything in my dance education classes that I didn't already know, except for maybe like what the verbiage meant, like the vocabulary. I now know why demi-plie is called a demi-plie.
Which is why she is named Demi.
'Cause it
They
means
put
middle.
so much thought into her name.
Aw.
No thought into my
years
name.
old.
Here we go.
But anyways,
This is the fighting center.
but other than that, I learned way more out of my business classes. I wish I would have taken more. So
Well, you're doing a great job.
thanks.
She makes it work.
From the recipient of one of your paychecks, you're doing a great job.
You were paid to say that.
Technically, yes. Yes, I was.
Experience is definitely the best teacher, though.
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
So we talked about how Top Gun Miami came, into being and a little bit of that history. How did the 4 non-Miami locations come into existence?
All by chance, really. Again, just like we did not envision having a gym or doing this for this long, once we started to have a gym, we didn't think we would ever have a second location because we felt that, all right, we have a good handle on this, but we can't replicate this. And we don't want it to be that's the other gym, the other Top Gun. And then it just so happened that at the time it was Naples. Naples Elite All-Stars
Elite, yeah.
was a program that was going under, and they had a connection with some of the parents here that had kids on TGLC. They put us in touch with each other. We got our best friend John Bencomo to move out there and run the gym. I used to drive 2 hours each way to help him coach, and we took over that location that had about 60 kids at the time and grew from there.
And now they're going on 17 years?
This is, I believe, 19.
Oh,
Nice.
my goodness. Wow.
19.
See, I don't do math questions. I don't want to put anybody on the spot
Yeah.
like that.
19 or 20.
I'm not
19 or
sure.
20. It's been a very long time, obviously, and it's grown and it's moved different locations. After that, we were approached by many other gyms, whether they were gyms that were kind of going under or gyms that were just looking to get out of the plateau they felt they hit because they didn't have a more popular name, and they felt like that was going to be the key to the growth. So Orlando All-Stars reached out to us, and Ohio Extreme. We went for about 3 years.
I would say that the perfect answer would be they were all a perfect storm. All of these things had to fall in the right place for them to happen. Relationships, were very big on relationships, and we needed to have relationships with every gym owner prior to. And I believe that friendships first started, and that's kind of how it rolled from there. It was never about take over the world or about money. It never has been. It's always about how many more kids can we reach their lives and how many more people can we help. And so we're very hands-on. I'm very involved with making sure that the other locations get whatever it is that they need. I mean, we do phone calls often, and I try to fill in and help wherever we can from a phone call away, and Victor tries to help out with the technical aspects. So it's about continuing the family, so it's not an easy process.
You guys have at least one person that you've coached, right?
That was what I was going to say. Was something unique about our Miami location is that every coach here has been coached by one or both of us at some point. And that's kind of, we felt like that was the key to our success. You teach them your philosophy, you teach them how you want things to run, and then you let them teach the next generation of kids. So when these other locations started to pop up and come into play, we always made sure there was at least one of our former athletes / coaches that was there to kind of be our eyes and ears, let us know how things are running. Are they continuing to follow the same kind of core values that we have been, teaching them for 20-something years? And we always had some type of connection. So we had Chris Sinatus, who cheered here, and his brother was an athlete here as well, and he was up there at the Orlando gym.
And now we have almost 8 from
And now we have
TGLC.
many former TGLC and Double O athletes that coach at the Orlando location. Ohio had Coach Jose Gonzalez and Greg Gazal, who had been doing their choreography for 10 years, so they were very in tune with the program and with the gym owner, Heather, and they were the ones that basically told us, hey, she's a lot like you, I think you guys would get along great, there's something you should consider if you're looking to expand again. So that's kind of how that happened. And then Arizona, we had an athlete named Gregory Williams, who we were actually his host parents for 2 years that he was on our small and large co-ed back in 05, 06.
We lived together.
Yeah,
It's when I lived there. It's during those years.
So after Gregory lived and cheered here, for us, he went on to help coach and direct and eventually had the opportunity to help to be part owner of a gym in Arizona, and had always stayed in touch with us, always been mentored, over the phone by Kristen, and said, hey, would you ever consider a Top Gun Arizona? And that's kind of how that ended up happening. It was each of those gyms took about 3 years in the making before they just became.
I'm really big on relationships.
So guys, we are in the final 14 minutes, and I do believe that if I don't start moving towards a certain topic and area, there are people on this live that will come for my throat. So let's just throw this out there. If you guys don't know, I do a lot of the social media for the gym, so I'm the one sometimes online that's responding and debuting some things, and a lot of you have questions about themes, and you have questions about why we do themes. And before we go and get specific, I want you guys to share first on why you do themes, and then I would like to hear your input, having been in regular routines and then having been in something a little bit more theatrical and themed. So can you start first?
Sure. So the funny thing is that we did not do themes up until 2018-19 season. And we had done it that way because I think we had more of a traditional mindset about what cheerleading should look like. And then it just so happened that the Cobra Kai series came out on YouTube. It was nostalgic for us. It was one of our favorite movies of all time from us growing up in the 80s. And the Cobra Kai uniform was black and gold, so I was like, this is a no-brainer. Let's go this route. Let's do something different. We're always trying to find ways to make the sport more entertaining and more fun for us. And we've been doing it for over 2 decades. It does get boring after a while, especially when you're kind of pigeonholed into, you have to do these certain things to get these scores, and these other things are not rewarded anyway. They're cool. You might have people that are talking about them on social media, but on the score sheet, they're really not rewarding you any points for them. So we had to just say, this is something that we wanted to do.
That's what I was going to say, that I feel that a few years back, we started feeling pigeonholed because we couldn't be creative anymore. It wasn't worth anything. That cool level 2 thing that everybody was like about gave you nothing on the score sheet. But it's part of what we were. So I think the themes have allowed us to get back to that fun for us and for our kids and make it exciting and keep us engaged so that we don't have to do that level 2 thing that unfortunately you can't do on the score sheet anymore. It's our way of keeping that creativity in there even though it's not awarded.
Yeah, I think that for us as athletes, my favorite part about the themes is like how unique that season, the music, the gifts, the overall routine is, like, and just specific to that team. Like 2019, those kids will always be the karate kids. Last year will always be the fighter pilots, and all the cool gear and just all that stuff is only going to be for that team, even though it's TGLC. So that's my favorite part about it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like when we're creating our routines, he has a brilliant mind, and it just makes it that much more fun and entertaining when you basically mix his brilliant mind and amazing music and can make an easy lift look like a fighter pilot or like an airplane or crazy things like that. And I just feel like it makes it so much more fun for not only us but for people watching. And yeah, it may not be giving us an amazing score or we're not getting a gazillion points because of this one cool thing, but people remember that and they're like, oh my god, do you remember when TGLC did this twisting flip thing that I don't even know how they did it, but it was the coolest thing I've ever seen, and I can't wait to be a part of that. And I feel like it means so much more to us when we get to have those gifts and keep the uniforms, and just everything is basically based off of you and that specific team, and it just makes you feel so much more special as a team, and we really love it.
I think it's also like really cool when you have a theme, because it's almost like you just really get to get into it. It's almost like you're playing a role, like you're acting.
Yes.
And so it's easy to just get into the music, or really just be excited about the routine, because yeah, it's pretty much like you really are playing a part.
And it's really fun when we do like team socials, because we'll be able to like watch the movie that we're doing or watch the show. Like Cobra Kai, we got to watch the show series or whatever with our team and kind of like understand what we're trying to portray, I guess. And right. Yeah. And we did the same thing with our theme last year. It makes everything so much more fun and entertaining. So like, why not?
Yeah, for sure. And some people like our themes, others don't. But no matter what, you remember them.
Yeah, that is true.
That's true.
Yeah.
And so what would you guys say to people who think that themes don't belong in cheerleading?
I respect everybody's opinions, and I respect that that's what makes us and cheerleading so unique that we have so many different opinions, and what you might like, somebody might not, and vice versa. And we have to do us the best we can do us. And I would say do you the best you can do you.
Ha! Do you, boo? The words of Kristen Rosario. Ha!
Again, this is just, it's our interpretation of what cheerleading should be. And that's what we've always been about. It's Top Gun is about
Pushing the envelope.
Pushing the envelope, but this is, when I think of cheerleading, what do I want it to look like? And that's what I try to put on the floor. And for the past couple of years, it's been, you know what, I really want to make it very theatrical. And I don't want to just do, because we've had teams that did somewhat of a theme, like they might have had everything in the music said candy, or everything in the music said fire. But I said, if I'm going to do a theme, I'm going to go all the way. From the music, to the choreography, to the uniform, to the extra little gifts that we can give them, and just really make
You pulled out orange flashlights and directed a plane to come down and touch down during the routine. So,
Just wait.
I mean...
Yeah, I think it just really makes us stand out and just be different.
Absolutely.
Feel special.
So your good friend Lisa from Spring CDT, if she's still with us.
Lisa.
Well, I don't know if she's still with us. She was defying she's on a flight trying to catch the theme and was defying the stewardess at the point. So I think that without further ado, and with only a few minutes left, would you like to announce this year's theme?
I'll go ahead and announce it. Speaking of closure, and how we really didn't get that closure last year, one of the biggest things that we wanted to do last year was truly pay homage to those people who have served our country, and we wanted to do it respectfully, and we wanted to make it kind of like a bang, like, look, this is the amazing people that serve our country, and look at the things that they do. And we tried to make everything from the uniforms to the way that we portrayed ourselves, what's the word I'm looking for, authentic. Because we didn't get the opportunity to fully pay homage, not just to them, but to the kids that were on the floor, and also being the fact that Top Gun sequel Maverick will be coming out this summer, we have decided that we are going to be doing a Top Gun sequel.
Hey, Top Gun Part 2!
I'm going to say that the one thing that we said from the get-go was, if we're going to do the sequel, it's got to be better than the original. So just be ready, because we're going to go hard on this routine.
Yes. All out.
No, definitely.
We're going to go all out.
It really just works out because we had so many returners who didn't get to finish off their season as the fighter pilots. We get that this year. So
Fighter Pilots Part 2.
We
Keep our
love
fingers
that,
crossed,
you guys.
everything with
yes.
COVID and all that stuff goes according to plan, and things start going in the up and up, but that is the plan.
Just so that everybody's aware, because I know that people are going to ask, does that mean that you're going to use anything from before? No,
Not in the
not
slightest.
the same music, not the same routine. It will definitely be a whole new
Brand
routine.
new, but Part 2.
Again, just always trying to find something different. Like, I've never seen a theme done twice. It's never been a sequel, so we're gonna be the
And
first
better.
ones to do a theme 2 years in a row.
If
that
you
I know of.
haven't watched the original movie, now's the time, because there's a lot of things that are going to be...
Yeah, there's so many taglines and just different things from movie one that are gonna be in this routine, just to continue to, you know, use all those great ideas that we could only fit so much in that first
And
routine.
the trailer.
Yeah, and the trailer for Part 2, if you haven't watched that, do that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
There's
Part
a-
2 comes out a little
There's
bit
about
later.
there's I think a 7 or 8 minute trailer that takes you through a lot of the things that we're gonna incorporate into this year's routine. So make sure you guys watch that on YouTube.
Honey, she said she
Hopefully-
will not be reused or recycled.
And hopefully we'll finally get that closure for our teammates, our kids, and all of the men and women that serve our country.
Absolutely.
We love that, you guys. I think there is no better way to wrap up right now. That is the responses that are coming in right now are insane. The amount of hearts on this are insane. So people are into it.
Yeah.
People are into it.
We're
As
so
excited
glad.
as we are.
We're so glad. You know, we're really excited about it, and hopefully you guys will get to see it from beginning to end, and just be able to support and love it as much as you did the last one. And like I said, we'll do our best to, you know, keep you proud.
We definitely got our work cut out for us, but we're up for the challenge.
All right, guys. This is the Rosarios and Coach Cory signing
Thanks for
off.
joining us,
Thank
guys.
you.
Everybody.